difficult to lose, difficult to be 1-4. I thought there was a lot of fight. I thought guys played hard, made plays, gave us a chance, coaches as well. But we just didn't make enough plays, didn't play well enough. And, there's a lot we need to improve upon, be better to be able to, get back on track. So take any questions you have.
Were you frustrated at times at the pace of the play calling or plays coming in?
I think it's important that Kevin gets to see, personnel and get some things to clarify it. So it's kind of a part of the process a little bit to just, make sure we're getting the right call and the right look and we're gathering the right information.
Kirk, just sitting at 1-4 now, what do you think are the, one or two biggest things that this team needs to address to kind of turn the tide and get back going in the way you want to do it?
We need to start faster. First quarters need to be better. We need to protect the football. We need to make plays when they're there. And I think there have been a lot of plays there to be made. And we're making a lot of them, but there's more that we got to go make.
Do you feel like self-inflicted wounds are more of the problem now? Are you guys doing it to yourselves a little bit more than having it done to you? Or?
I think it's a little of both. I think certainly at times you feel like, there's opportunities for us to play better, that we are capable of being a much better football team. And when you feel that's the big part of it, then it's very fixable, or it gives you hope, encouragement that we can turn it around because you feel like you have the players in the room to do that, and the coaches in the room to do that.
Kirk, how big did you feel like Jordan Addison was in some of those kind of got ahead of situations?
Yeah, Jordan's the real deal. We hit on that draft pick. He's a great player. He's the real deal. Great hands, runs great routes. And I've played with some really good skill groups in my career. Been fortunate enough to do that. When I look at our group right now, it's as good as I've ever been with. With progressions and things, a lot of times number one gets the ball, but it doesn't mean the guy who's third or fourth in the progression isn't really talented player and probably capable and deserving of being number one in the progression. And we're fortunate enough that we have that to be the case. So when Justin goes down, which is tough, he's a special player, there's a lot of confidence that KJ and Jordan and Brandon Powell and our tight ends and our backs can really fill that gap.
That said, how tough is going into one of those final drives? You start that drive without Hawkinson and without Jefferson.
Well, again, I just think there's a lot of confidence in the other guys. TJ and Justin are special players for a reason, but I was impressed with Brandon. It was no surprise to me, though. He's a great athlete, great with the ball in his hands. KJ special. I find myself coming out of games more last year and this year wishing we could get Jordan the ball more, KJ the ball more, because I know what they're capable of, Brandon Powell. But it's just hard to spread it all around. But we definitely have a lot of talent, on the skill positions.
How was it working with Garrett?
Yeah, it was good to have him back. Schlote did a phenomenal job the last several weeks, but there's so much time on task with Garrett together, and I thought he did a great job. It's tough to be out and come right back in like that and jump into it. He did a great job.
Kirk, I know it's a tough start, but as a leader, what do you say to your team on Monday, knowing that everything you guys want to accomplish is still in front of you, starting with division play?
Yeah, divisional game, obviously. We're going on the road. That's a challenge, but divisional opponent. We take the same approach, win or lose. You got to treat them as each their individual efforts, and you put this one to bed. You got to learn from it. You got to get better, and then you go to work, getting ready for Chicago, and it's kind of its own entity, and you just do that 17 times. And we got a long ways to go, but we don't really think about that. We recognize that, but then we go to work on Chicago and just kind of stay in that world the whole week.
Kirk, is it more frustrating when you know that you have the talent, you know that you have the weapons,
Yeah.
you're hanging there with
Right.
these teams and can't get there?
Yeah, I think you come out of these games and you say there's so much more production out there to be had, no matter what, no matter how good it may have been. And I don't think it was all that great tonight, but when it's really good even, I find myself getting on the bus in a away game or getting in the car here and saying, man, we left a lot of plays out there. There's so much more that we can do. So I'm saying that again tonight.
Kirk, on the throw to KJ in the end zone there,
Yeah.
Kevin was talking about a little bit, just kind of the progression.
Yeah, I was just early. I was early. I saw Justin getting doubled. I think in hindsight, I just probably take Justin in the flat, even though he's being doubled, because I think he gets the first down. I saw him getting doubled, and I thought, let me progress. Well, by getting off of Justin so quickly, I was sort of ahead of where KJ was, and I felt like, let me just put the ball out there with touch. But I knew that I was ahead of it, so it was a lot to ask of KJ to get his head around and make that play. I wish I had worked Justin in the flat. I wish I had taken a little longer to get back to KJ, and I wish I had probably thrown a little more touch and put it out front of KJ more. I think even out front, even with coming through it so quickly, if I put it out in front of him and put some touch on it, I think he still catches it. So, and I wish I would have. I mean, I probably watched, if I watched the film with you, I'd probably have a dozen plays where I would say that,
Kirk, what are you seeing with just TJ? A few times he was hard on himself in the locker room there about some of the misconnections.
Yeah,
what's going on there?
I don't have anything to say. I think he's a great player, and I think he did a great job tonight. I think that my ball location tonight was too high. I felt like it was consistently high, and I don't have a great answer for that. But I felt that it was showing up, and yeah, maybe catchable, but it shouldn't be that hard on it. The ball needs to be right in their chest. So I was frustrated and it was early, and then I thought, we'll settle in, and I felt as the game went on, it was still that way. So that's when you say you go back and look at it and fix it. That's one of the things you fix. You say, the high ball, that's got to stop.
Even with the depth you guys do have at receiver, what do you think would change for you guys if you have to play without Justin?
Yeah, you just next man up is sort of the mantra, but it's really a group. It's not any one person. It's the whole group. And Justin's done a phenomenal job for the last 3.5 years of staying healthy and being out there every week, which is hard to do. And so even with this injury, it makes you pause and be grateful for how healthy he's been. But yeah, KJ gets an increased role. Jordan gets an increased role. Our tight ends do. Our running backs do. Brandon Powell steps up. Nikhil, Tristan. The list goes on. And I think we have the players we can do. That can try to fill that gap. It's big shoes to fill, but as a group, I think it can be done.
Last year for Kirk.
Fourth down throw to Jordan in the end zone.
Yeah.
Like you've done. I don't know how much you can see
Yeah.
real time. Like you got hit on that.
Yeah. Cover zero. Ball needed to come out. I believe the third down throw is the one that's really bugging me. I going back to I wish I would have just worked KJ on a shallow cross over the ball. That was the one that really bugged me. I think on the fourth down, they zeroed me again, and I was just trying to give somebody a chance. But that sequence was a frustrating sequence to not. I think that's. I was talking to Dawn just a few minutes ago. There's plays you go home and you say we should have made that play. We should be on the field. We should be scoring points. That's one of those moments where you just feel like that third, fourth down sequence. It shouldn't. It did. They beat us, but those are the ones that frustrate you.
Also frustration on the final play of the game, not being able to get the ball off there.
Yeah, I was trying to get out to my left because that was kind of where the throw was going to be. Felt like I couldn't get out, and was trying to say, okay, I'll step up. Felt like I couldn't, and so I'll get right, and then that was when I got hit. But it's always a hazard of the business on Hail Marys is knowing you got to buy time for them to get down there, but they're rushing, so there's no guarantee you're going to have that time. I'd have to watch the film to tell you what I could have, should have done. I'm sure there was some place I could have moved or something I could have done to buy time, because you certainly want and need the ball to get up there and at least give you a chance.